Welcome back to the Thom Hartmann Program. I'm Alex Lawson, filling in for Tom, and I'm joined in studio by Christina Gorczynski, a community organizer and attorney from Houston, Texas, and a great friend of mine who's in town for the Women's March on Saturday. And let's just, because I would imagine that a lot of Tom's listeners actually are going to come in for either this Women's March or some of the satellite actions around the country, or the multiple things that are going to happen as we stand up to resist this reactionary agenda. From that discussion with the lawyer earlier about what are our civil rights, what are some of the takeaways that you would pass on to people?
Biggest takeaways were that the planning stage is just as important as the actual showing up. So planning in advance to know what your action plan is going to be in the event that there are issues and in the event that you're engaged by law enforcement. So the big one is to make sure that you have the phone number and name of an attorney or a legal representation organization like the National Lawyers Guild that you can contact immediately upon being arrested. The estimate is that you can't be really held for more than 4 hours without being able to reach out and get legal assistance. Also, I heard people say, make sure you have $100 in your pocket if you can find it, or make sure you have someone you can reach out to that may have some financial means who can help bail you out. You can probably post bond and be released. The big thing is, and I love this analogy of treat it just like you're going hiking, like we've done many times in Santa Fe, New Mexico. When I'm going to go hiking, I tell my family where I'm going to be. I let someone know where I'm going to be. So you let someone know that you're going to be marching and where you're going to be marching. You let them know the estimated time that you're going to be out there. You let folks know that you are where you're going to be going, and also to let people know that they needed to be on call for you, and that a call that may come to them may not even be coming from your phone number in the event that your cell phone doesn't work. One of the big things he also said, and the other organizers in the room reminded me, is that take a buddy, use the old school buddy system, have someone else there with you who can observe, who can help, not necessarily intervene, but who can bear witness to what's going on. He said
bearing witness, including with a cell phone camera, video.
He was really clear about using video to gather evidence that can be used, and also that you can be recording either audio or video, and to make sure that if your phone is taken from you or confiscated, that you have constitutional rights that would be illegal search and seizure if for some reason your phone is open, they go through your phone, they start looking through your contacts or emails or your text messages. And so make sure that you do not give consent for law enforcement to open up your cell phone and start going through it. That's just like going through your house or going through your bags illegally without cause.
So I think, you went through a lot of the very important information. I like the analogy of planning to go hiking, because this is literally planning for the worst, but expecting the best, right? Like the vast majority of people who are participating in a protest or a march or a rally are going to show up peacefully, raise their voices, and going to go home. But it is saying when you go out hiking, sometimes you can be caught in weather. So you better have foul weather gear. If you're in certain areas, there might be grizzly bears. They're not going to the schools, though.
Exactly. They're in the woods.
Threat to schools. They're in the woods. But so you take precautions for events that are unlikely, but if they do happen, you are prepared for those. And that is, the easiest one is actually the buddy system, just making sure that you're not isolated, you don't get split off from your friends or family, or if you're coming alone, find a buddy.
Exactly.
Find a buddy, introduce yourself, find someone who you can go with and you can have each other's back.
And that's a strong point. And it explains why so many of my friends who are coming from all over the country have already been reaching out. We've been trying to come up with an action plan, an emergency meeting spot, places where we can retreat and seek safety in the event that we need to disperse for some reason, making sure we have each other's phone numbers, and also people that I don't even know well, but they're getting connected to me via email and Facebook as people who are saying, hey, my girlfriend's going to be in town for the march. Try to meet up with her, make sure that she has your number just in case, or even just to seek community and seek camaraderie. I have a feeling that on Saturday is going to be a very empowering experience. These are peaceful, nonviolent protesters, so I anticipate that we will experience the same respect that we're showing, and I'm really looking forward to being in the physical presence of so many other women, like-minded women, who find that this administration and things that the president-elect is saying is completely unacceptable and don't reflect our values. And so I think it's even better than just being in the buddy system for physical safety. These are connections that we're making that we're going to take home, and we're going to resist in our own districts, back home in Texas, across the country, and stick up and fight for our rights in a really scary time.
Yes, and the empowering aspect of solidarity or camaraderie or community is a critical aspect of this. Right after the election, it was a very, very dark, depressing, isolating, and it was difficult. It was difficult for me.
Really
I know
difficult.
it's continuing to be difficult. But I actually found a lot of solace going to the church that I go to, primarily in the community at All Souls Unitarian. When I'm sitting there and I'm reminded that I am part of this thing that is larger than myself, that has a history stretching back to when we tolled the bell for John Brown when he was hanged, when we tolled the bell for the Emancipation Proclamation, when we tolled our bell for the end of the Civil War, for the March on Washington, for marriage equality. Our bell has tolled through history, and our bell will toll again. And it's in community that we can get through very, very difficult times.
And especially, I live in a very red state in a purple county, and I know there are like-minded people that share my values. And I think there are so many of us right now that feel isolated. And to make an analogy to domestic violence and sexual assault, because I feel like it's fitting based on the way that our president behaves, is that it's about power and control and isolating you and making you feel all alone and powerless.
And we're not alone.
We're not alone.
And we're going to talk more about that with Christina Gorczynski, community organizer and attorney, right after this on the Thom Hartmann Program. I'm Alex Lawson, and we will be right back.